Okay, now we are going to create our modular grid using this website modulargrid.org, and we're going to use 8 as our baseline, 8 pixels, which is these small lines, these vertical lines. Then we have our module 78, which is this column, this width, and then we have 12 modules, which is 12 columns over here, and gutter width is 24 pixels, which is this white area. This is the spacing between our two columns. Then we have our module height, which is 1, and because if I try to put over 0 over here like this, it created some problems, so I use this one. Okay, so this is how layout is done over here. We have our total width of 1200, sorry, and click on this download. So your pattern is download. Now we are going to move this pattern. I have already moved it. You can copy it into your presets folder within the patterns folder, and from that we are going to load it in Photoshop. Okay. Now we are going to create a new file in Photoshop. We are going to create new, and I have struggled a lot with artboards and learned a lot. So let me show you what is the process we are going to use. 1200 by 2400, and we are going to click artboards. They work in a very weird way. There are a lot of bugs in artboards. I really don't like them at all, but we have to use them. There are two ways, whether you can use them in the first time and keep on designing inside the artboard, or you can just create a document without artboard. Okay, so when you are creating new document, uncheck this one and you can create a 1200 pixel document without this artboard. Okay, I think it has a buggy feeling for me, so I'm going to right now stick with this artboard. Let's see how it is going to turn out. Okay, now for this layer, let's create another rectangle over here. Okay, so click over here and its width should be 1200. Now why I'm creating this, I'm going to tell you in few minutes. Height is going to be 24. Okay, so this is my main rectangle document over here, rectangle. Okay, so I have created a rectangle. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to create sections of this design inside this artboard 1, and I have created an action over here. If you don't know what the actions are and how to create them, you need to see my other courses, or you can go online. It is very easy. Okay, so I'm going to share this action with you. You at least need to know how to load them. Okay, so I'm going to create different folders. You can see over here, grid, header, navigation, everything. It is inside this. Okay, so let's move this inside the header. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate my rectangle and I'm going to move it inside the grid. Okay, now in the grid, I have already downloaded the grid which is in my patterns. So I'm going to use pattern overlay and I'm going to use the grid. Okay, so let's color it white. So it is not, I'm also going to color this white. It is going to be our background. Okay, so I'm going to lock this layer over here, and this is going to be our grid. Okay, so also you can name it like 1224 pixel gutter, something like this, to make sure that you remember that it is like that. Okay, so this is how my folder structure is, or groups I have created inside my artboard. You can also rename it to desktop, something like that. Okay, so in this area we are going to design. Okay, so let's see what is the size of this. It is going to be 1200, and I'm going to see what is the size of this layer. It is also 1200, but I don't know why this is messed up over here. Okay, let's see what is our pattern. So just click this snap to region, and I think the pattern will be at its location. Okay, so press OK, and let's see, zoom in, that our columns and everything is lined up. Okay, so everything is good. Okay, now we can start designing in this area. The second option is that I am going to expand my canvas, my artboard to 1400, just to get some space around it. Okay, so my artboard, let's see, I haven't clicked the artboard, so make sure you click the artboard, select the artboard in the layers panel and choose the size like this. Now I am going to align my grid inside this like that. Okay, so this is how you are going to create a 1400 pixel document. You can also create 1400 document in the start. Okay, so I'm going to fill this document with the same color. Okay, I think its size is a bit off, so I'm going to resize it like that. So this is my background. I'm going to again lock it so I don't move around things. I'm basically going to align things with this background. Okay, so this is how our main document is set up, and this is how you are going to use artboards. Okay, so if you don't use artboards in the start, in the end you are going to select all your layers, something like this, and you are going to right click and artboard from layers or groups. Okay, also you can go to this area and you can go like artboard from layers. So we are going to select all our layers and everything inside our design, and we are going to create artboard from there. Okay, so I'm using the second method, which is we are starting out with an artboard. So we have our grid set up. In the next lesson we are going to design our header, and I'm going to show you what things you need to open up at the same time when you are going to design our header. So let's move on.